A NATO nation faces what could be its fourth Iranian-linked attack, raising questions about whether this escalation is unfolding amid Donald Trump's broader war posture in the region. Another missile has reportedly breached NATO-monitored airspace, but was this a direct Iranian attack, or part of a more complex and deliberate escalation strategy unfolding in real time? A NATO member lashes out at both the United States and Israel after repeated strikes, signaling rising tensions within the alliance as the conflict continues to intensify. NATO member Turkey has claimed that another Iranian ballistic missile entered and breached its airspace. The missile was reportedly intercepted and destroyed shortly after it crossed into Turkish airspace. Turkey said the ballistic missile was shot down by NATO air defense assets deployed in the eastern Mediterranean. In a March 30 statement, Turkey's Ministry of Defense said the missile had been launched from Iran. The ministry added that all decisions were taken decisively and without hesitation against any threat. Turkey's Ministry of Defense said, and I quote, "A ballistic munition, determined to have been launched from Iran and to have entered into Turkish airspace, has been neutralized by NATO air and missile defense assets deployed in the eastern Mediterranean. All necessary measures are being taken decisively and without hesitation against any threat directed at our country's territory and airspace, and all developments in the region are being closely monitored with priority given to our national security." End quote. Soon after the reported missile incident, the chairman of NATO's military committee contacted Turkey. Turkey's chief of the general staff then briefed Admiral Kavo Dragwan on the situation. This is the fourth time that the NATO country has claimed Iran targeted Turkish territory with missiles. Earlier in March 2026, Ankara said it had intercepted 3 ballistic missiles that it also attributed to Iran. Iran, however, has denied that Tehran carried out any missile attacks against Turkey. Earlier, Iran also claimed such missile incidents were deliberate false flag operations planned by Israel. The reported missile incident came a day after Ankara sharply criticized Israel over the war. On March 29, Turkey's intelligence chief warned that the United States and Israel were creating what he called fuel of discord. Ibrahim Kalin also suggested that Ankara could step in to extinguish the discord if needed.
With this major war, a great fire of discord is being ignited in our region. One of the intended outcomes of this war is not only the elimination of Iran's nuclear capacity, but, more dangerously, the laying of the groundwork for a conflict that could last for decades among the region's founding nations: Turks, Kurds, Arabs, and Persians. It would pave the way for prolonged fratricidal war and blood feuds. As Turkey, I want to emphasize that we will remain on full alert and will continue to struggle against this until the end. We have never been, and will never be, a party that fuels the fire of discord. If necessary, we will take the fire into our own hands and extinguish it in our own chest, but we will never throw it into the fire of discord. Against those who seek to spread discord, we will continue to stand firm with our own dynamics, values, leadership, and priorities. We act knowing who is a friend and who is an enemy. As Turkey, I want to state once again that we will not deviate from this path.
Earlier, the US NATO ally had also said the wider world was being forced to bear the cost of Israel's war.
Once again, our region is the epicenter. The unlawful strikes against Iran pushed the region to the brink of a wider war, triggered by relentless Israeli escalation. We reject any scenario that drags regional states into a devastating conflict. Iranian actions affecting Gulf nations carry precisely this risk. Let us be clear. This may be the Israelis' war of choice, but the entire world is paying the price. As the conflict prolongs, the geopolitical and economic complications multiply at an alarming rate. From day one, we warned against this dangerous trajectory. This is a war engineered for Netanyahu's political survival, yet its burden unfortunately falls upon the rest of the world. This is precisely why we continue to call for utmost restraint. This conflict carries the potential to deepen wounds and divide nations whose destinies are intertwined in our region. At the same time, we declared our strong opposition to Israel's expansionist policies, particularly its latest aggression against Lebanon. To operationalize these efforts, we continue our constant high-level dialogue. Our objective is to chart out actionable steps to end this conflict as soon as possible. However, as we pave the way for peace, we cannot allow Netanyahu's fundamentalist and maximalist posture to sabotage diplomatic solutions yet again. For too long, we have warned about this engineered chaos. The strategic objective here is to engineer a perpetual state of conflict designed to keep the nations of the region weak, divided, and vulnerable. This strategy of systemic destabilization must be stopped. We are confronted with a mindset that doesn't hesitate to target humanitarian workers, mediators, diplomats, and embassies. That impunity alone exposes how severe the structural erosion of the global order has truly become.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that we will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.